everyone. Welcome to Sharing Life Issues with Her Excellency Hajiya Ami. Welcome to Ita Gidi, Labaran Dunia na Gaskiya, Akukon Madu, Real Life Story. Salamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I hope everybody is doing well today. I'll be reading a story from our inbox. And it's almost Ramadan. I know I've been talking about that. I just want to remind you that Ramadan is not only about fasting. Ramadan is also a time to sit down and reflect. What am I doing wrong? What do I need to change? What are the changes that I need to make or do on my own? You have to know about yourself before you try to change other people out there. So if you're here, kindly click on the thumbs up, share, and write something so that I would know that you're here. I'm just going to pull up that story. It's a true life story. So I'm just going to sit here and pull it up so that way I can read it out to you. Okay. So it states, "Hello, Her Excellency. I was cooking in the kitchen when I heard someone knocking at my door. I am coming, I shouted. I quickly lowered my gas. I rushed to the sink and raised my hands. I was actually pounding banga, so I had to rinse my hands. You know how oily your hands get when you pound banga? I believe banga is something that has to do with palm oil. So I'm just trying to tell the people that are not aware of what she's talking about. The person kept on knocking. At a point, I got really pissed. 'Who is that?' I said. I hurriedly rushed out of the kitchen and went to get the door. 'Who is there?' I asked. 'Open the door, my friend.' It was my mother-in-law's voice. She was really loud. I didn't even know she was coming over. I quickly opened the door for her. 'Mingwo ma,' I greeted with my knees bent downwards. 'I know you didn't want to open the door for me,' she said as she walked majestically into the living room. 'No, Mama, I was coming,' I said. I quickly carried her box to the guest room. 'I was actually cooking banga soup, Ma. I know you like banga soup,' I said, smiling. She didn't say anything to me. She stood up and left to the guest room. I picked my phone and called my husband that his mother was around. He told me he was already on his way home. I told Mama food will be ready soon. I took extra care to prepare the soup because I wasn't sure I would be able to impress my mother-in-law since I'm not an Ihobo girl. She actually kicked against her son marrying me because according to her, I wouldn't be able to care for him like an Ihobo girl would. When I was done preparing the soup, I made eba, gari. Luckily, my husband got home when I was about serving the food. 'Honey, I am sorry. I didn't tell you Mama was coming,' my husband pleaded. 'You should have at least told me so I would prepare for her.' 'No problem, Sha. Please come and taste the soup.' 'I didn't know if Mama would like it,' I said as I dragged my husband with me to the kitchen. 'I trust you. I know you are a good cook. You cook well,' my husband said. 'Shall taste it,' I said. I gave him the soup to taste. 'Perfect,' he said. 'Mwah.' 'Good,' I said. I dished the food and placed it in the dining. 'Mama, your food is ready,' I said. Reluctantly, she left with my husband to the dining. She first stared at the soup as though she was staring at a trash. She molded a hand of gari and dipped it in the soup When she was swallowing it, she screamed, "What is this?" I felt really bad. "Mama, the soup is nice now," my husband said. "What do you know about soup?" Question mark. "I told you to marry an Ihobo girl, but you didn't listen to me. Look at what this Yoruba girl has cooked." She said. I felt a sharp pain in my chest. I wanted to cry, but I held myself. "If you don't like the soup, I can boil rice for you. I have stew in the freezer." "Why didn't you do that in the first place?" "Go and boil rice for me, my friend." She screamed. I cleared the dining and started boiling rice. I brought out the stew from the freezer and microwaved it. When the rice was ready, I served her. She took a spoonful of rice and chewed it slowly. "But, like, this is sweet either, but it's better than that disaster you made," she said and continued eating. When she was done eating, I cleared the table. I was just restless the whole day. The next morning, she woke me up at around 4 a.m. "Don't you know you will make early to prepare your husband's food and to prepare for his work? Did your mother not train you well?" Question mark. She said. I stood up and went to the kitchen. "What are you doing in the kitchen? Didn't you know you will first sweep and mop the house?" She said. "I swept yesterday, Mama. I don't sweep every day," I said calmly. "Come on, go and carry broom, my friend," she shouted. I carried the sweeping broom and started sweeping. This woman came through, stayed at our house, but I never for once attacked her. Even when I go out, I always buy her something. I always smile at her and greet her obediently. She tormented me and intensified my love for her child. One morning, she called me and asked, "Don't you ever get angry? What kind of woman are you?" This came as a surprise to me. I was speechless. After breakfast, she said, "My son, I didn't know why you were so bent on marrying this girl. Now I see, until now, indeed, you married well. My work here is done. I will be leaving tomorrow." True to her words, she left the next morning after apologizing to me. Interesting. What an interesting story. So that was the end of the story. And at Sharing Life stated, "Dear women, sometimes you have to be extra kind and wise to win some battles in your marriage. Everything is not all about fight and competition. Be patient and watch Allah and God vindicate you." I always believe in that. A lot of times, people might think, "Oh, why am I doing this?" But sometimes it's good to try that. And let's see what people from our Sharing Life issues had to say. I'm just trying to pull that up. Bear with me. Let's just see what they have to say. All right. I'm just pulling that up. Just give me some moment. I know a lot of people were like, "What do you mean people should be patient?" I know what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to, Yoruba will say, be the calm one so that people will let you pass. Abi? Be the calm one does not mean you're a fool sometimes. Being calm does not mean that you're stupid. Being calm does not make you a weakling. But there are some times whereby your quietness, there's answer in that quietness. Sometimes people would think, "Oh, why me?" But it's better off that way. So I'm going to go to our comment sections and read some of the comments, not everything. I'm just going to pick a few, so that way they would see or know what other people stated. Rukayat Bukola Atoke stated, thanks, Mama. She was saying thanks to me with the response I gave. Chukwu Meka Hilda stated, it is well. May God give all women the grace. Thank God she was just testing her patience, but some are just like that. You can't please them. Which is true. Sometimes you cannot please some mother-in-laws. Fatima Yahakub stated, well done there, you did well. But not everyone can be that patient. Even me that is writing this now. But I pray the grace of God follow you everywhere. Ami. Jennifer Akko stated, Omo, it's not all the time, oh. My baby. Sometimes what works for Mr. A does not work for Mr. B. You try, Sha. I commend you for that. For me, it will take the grace of God, oh. My baby, I know what you're talking about. Zuliha Bello stated, this is a lesson learned indeed. May Allah make it easy for us all. Bilkis Shitu stated, thanks, ma. May God give us the ability to have the kind of patience you're trying to teach us at sharing life issues with Her Excellency Haji Ami. And I stated, Allahumma Ameen. Tawakal Kadri stated, wow, I really love this. And she put the heart emoji. I pray you continue to live in peace in your marriage and let everyone use this as an example to be tolerant and kind. Rebecca Moses Ojo stated, Jayoba Michael stated, wow. Basirat Nuruddin stated, this is a lesson. May Almighty Allah make it easy for us all. Allahumma Ameen. Auntie Hassana stated, Inshallah, you did well. Hope all women will learn and have this courage to bear the torment of some of their mother-in-law. Her Excellency, what you just preached here is too tough for most to go by. Adebayo Nafisat Neila stated, it is well, though. Elegant Christie stated, beautiful. Nice one, you try. God bless you. Rajan Nafisat stated, thank you for sharing. May we all be guarded. Tamlari Buba stated, yes, you are right, but there are some families that even if you worship them, they will still hate you. Absolutely. That's when you have to know who you're dealing with. And when I say who you're dealing with, by that time you already know what kind of in-laws you have. Sometimes some women really tried everything. I've seen women from even wealthy homes bow down to people from, like, who were married to poor guys, respect, and gave all the, is it Iteriba? Iteriba is like when you're being submissive to those guys, and they kept trying them because, you know, sometimes Yorubas will say, "Eni taba nsun sile, teba fi sori bed, ugbodo jabo." Abunda na change away. Idan kuka dauke wanda yake zama, da yake bacci a kasa, kuka sa shi ko kuka nade shi akan gado, dole ne zai fadi. So, what I stated in Yoruba and Hausa is that no matter how sometimes you try to bring up, say, a poor person or someone who has been sleeping on the ground to the bed, they will still misbehave. You know? Sometimes ayoman fawe yomi lori to je pori buloman di kubaya. Abunda na chenewe when lokati munna yake kam ata abu. Domin suna gani way, oh, you have me, you cannot let me go. So that madness will come. So I'm just making a reference to what Tem Larry Buba stated. It is really true. Sometimes no matter how good you are, no matter how patient you are, you cannot win. So at that point, what do you have to do? You have to know when to withdraw. All right? There's little that everybody can take. Some women have tried all their best, even things that they never thought they would do. they did that to keep a marriage. But sometimes you have to start thinking about your sanity and say, okay, I've had enough. And that's when you need to pull back. All right? So the advice I gave initially was for the beginners. However, if you do see that then you have to reverse and be like, okay, I need my sanity. So what I stated in Yoruba was that if you do find out that their head is not correct, meaning they're crazy, you need to then sit down and reflect and start thinking about ways to have your own sanity, okay? Because you do not want people to keep messing with your mental health. It is really important. At that point, you have to sit down and think. And no one is wearing that shoe for you but yourself. So, only you can determine if the shoe hurts and how it fits. All right? Do not let the fear of what would people say make you kill yourself, make you go into depression. At the end of the day, people will still talk. So, I'll go back to the comment sections and read more for you. Latifa Abdul Latif stated, your patience is top-notch. Well done, ma. May your home be forever peaceful, and to us that don't have the kind of patience, I pray the Almighty always see us through any form of test and protect us all. Allahumma ameen. It's not like you do not have the kind of patience. Sometimes you just have to know your what. Am I saying she did not know her what by doing that? No. Sometimes you put that crown down and say, all right, let me just try what I need to try. And when they drive you nuts, put back that crown and remind yourself who the hell you are. And make sure nobody dims that. Make sure you shine your crown, put more jewels on it, and be yourself. Do not pretend. Do not be disrespectful. However, it is time to say, I'm checking out of here. Because, believe it or not, sometimes when you have problems with your in-laws and your husband too is not helping out, or your wife is not helping out, then that marriage will be a disaster. So, Yorubas will say, Ki oko ati aya ko ma ye tiwon. Ki awon ebi ko ma ye tiwon. So, abundana che anyway, namiji da namace, mata da namiji. Amarya ko ko uwar gida ne su san gurin su. Su uwa kuma su ma su san gurin su, da iyali su san gurin su. If we all know our positions, then we can have a good union. I'm not going to sit here and have somebody disrespecting my partner. That means I do not know their what. Do not get me wrong. When you have someone with you, no matter what, they still need to respect your partner, and your partner needs to respect them, like the family. However, you cannot put your wife's position and your mom's position the same way. No, everybody has to have their own. And at every goddamn time, you're supposed to speak up for your wife, for your husband. So let's be guarded and let's remember that. Nanclean Messi rolled her eyes up and put the stick like, hell no, I'm not doing this. I'm out of here. Zaliha Usman stated, me that is not patient type. What would I do, mama? You have to be patient, my dear. Garba Rukayat Mujisola Ibrahim said, thank you for sharing. May God continue to guide us all. And my baddest therapist and counselor in the house stated, may God grant all women wisdom to manage their mother-in-law's tantrums. Ami and Abidemi Aduni stated true. So, you guys should leave your comments in the comment section, your feedback, what you think she should have done, or what you would have done if it were to be you. However, let's always learn to know that the way we treat our spouse, the way we treat our partner is very important. What did I expect him to have done? He was supposed to redirect his mom. I don't know. I mean, we did not hear anything about what he did. He was supposed to redirect his mom. Maybe not in front of the wife. Some people might say, oh, that's disrespectful. However, he needs to find the avenue to at least excuse his mom and redirect her to correct her, because that's wrong. No matter what, you should not condescend on anyone. That woman was from another family. It was not like they were throwing her out from her family, that they did not need her in her family. She went into another family to start her own family. So we need to know that and start respecting that. We need to know that not because somebody is from another family coming to join our family, now we then have to maltreat them. So that was a very useless way, I would say, of someone or a mother-in-law trying her child's wife to know if she's a wife material or not. That's madness. That's what happens a lot in Africa a lot of times. Some mother-in-laws would try all bunch of nonsense with you. Everybody has their own share, you know. They will try all bunch of nonsense. There is an instance of one asking someone to go and look for ewe moi moi. Ewe moi moi is like the leaves to make moi moi, stating, oh, I don't want to have cancer, so you have to go. And this was in America. The mother-in-law came from Lagos, Nigeria, to be precise. And she was like, you have to find me leaves to do my moi moi. Do not put it in the pouch because I do not want to get cancer. Guess how many hours that woman had to travel around to find that ewe? Over 2 hours going around to find ewe. Why are people so mean? Why? Another instance, the mother-in-law stated, oh, how do you wash your beans? And she stated, I use my blender. She's like, oh, I don't want you to use blender. I want you to use your hands to wash it. You cannot use blender to do my moi moi, to take out the back of the beans. I mean, why are people just so mean? Why? And these are people that would sleep in the church, that will be crying and begging God every day, or be sleeping in mosques and crying. Why? Itakullah. Itakullah means fear Allah, fear God. When we're treating other people's children very bad, we should try to think about it, that if no one is watching us, God is watching us, and someday we would all go back to account for what we've done right or wrong with other people. Worshipping God is not only by going to the church, it's not only by going to the mosque. It's by what you're doing. It's not by what you're showing people also. It's only God that knows my heart. It's only God that knows your heart. At the end of the day, that's what you'll be judged with. So don't go around thinking you're putting your head down 24/7, you're praying 5 times a day, that, oh, that's it, that's all you need to do, and you go around harming people, or you're shouting in the church, you're going around harming people, or at the mosque praying all day. No. So it's time to reflect. All right? It's time to reflect. And for those of you that are married and are in domestic violence situations, I want you to sit down and think about what you are doing. I'm not telling you to pick up your bags and leave. Maybe it's time to have a talk with your partner. A female, is it the wife, is it the husband? You need to have a talk with them. Let's make this work. If it's not working, remember you have kids. You might have kids that are seeing things that would be emulating you. Is that what you want the kids to emulate? When you look at the patterns of people, partners that abuse, a lot of times they copy their parents. That's why some people try to avoid that. When you're in love and you're brought up with love, it's really hard for you to stay in environments like that because your family already made you know your what. So when somebody is treating you wrong, you would talk. And that's what triggers some, would I say, majority of them, would I say, African men. Because when you're being quiet, you are the marriageable type, or you are the Miss Endurance. Yes, there are times we need to endure in marriage, but there are times you need to sit your ass down and ask yourself, is this marriage or is this slavery? Am I making this work for me and my children and for him and myself? Or are we just raising kids in a toxic environment? All right? That's the last thing I have to say to you as an advice. If you have not already subscribed, kindly click on the subscription button. Click on the notification button so that way you would be notified when I'm online or when I bring in our team to come and educate you about other things. Remember, at Sharing Life Issues with Her Excellency Hajia Ami, we have a lot of people we work with. We do have medical doctors, clinicians, nurses, pharmacists, counselors, therapists, officers, security experts, attorneys, to name but a few. So, always know that you're in safe hands. And a lot of times, we do have other cases that we do not bring here. It might be that the cases are too traumatic, or we do not want to traumatize the victims. Even sometimes the victims will say, I do want you to tell my story. And I usually would be the one to make a decision when the team comes up to say, okay, we're not bringing this case out. Let's just treat it and let it go. All right? So, always send in your true life stories. We do have all the links to our platforms on our YouTube channel. You would find the Facebook channel, Instagram, TikTok. Our WhatsApp, it's by invite only. You have to be active on other platforms and you have to go through screening before we put you in there. We're working on adding more people. So I know a lot of people have been sending in requests and we're still looking through that. All right? Thank you so much. Jazakallahu khaira. May the Almighty Allah and the Almighty God continue to protect you and I. And may we be the change that we want to see in our society. Remember, ọjọ́ kan ni ti ojoojúmọ́ ni ọjọ́ òlì. Ṣùgbọ́n ọjọ́ kan ni ti ẹni tí kò ṣùlì. Abinda na ce ne wai, kullum za ka iya ko za ki iya dinga sata. Amma rana ɗaya ne wanda kuke sata abu a kai za su kama ku. What I stated is, remember, you can be stealing from everyone, or you can be stealing every day, but one day you get caught. All right? Ọ̀rọ̀ púpọ̀, irọ́ ló máa ń gbé wa, mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ jù. Na ce magana da yawa, ƙarya yake kawowa. Ban so na yi magana da yawa. Na gode. I love you all. Peace out. All right? I'll see you some other time. Remember, we are here every Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, US and Canada time, 7 p.m. Nigerian time, and 6 p.m. UK time. Thank you again, and I love you. Always remember that and be safe. Peace out.